Hot tub.
All right, we are officially live. I'm gonna mute the audio. Mute the audio.
Don't
There
mute.
we go.
Oh, yeah, mute that.
Yeah, because we wanna mute that at least. All right, we are officially live. And it looks good.
Sorta.
Yeah, I can kind of. I'm not
taste the
seeing
weed.
too many issues. All right. Welcome, Internet, to the official garage tub, deck tub, hot tub in the backyard episode of Makers on Tap.
It's happening.
We finally are doing it, and it's amazing.
Oh, we already lost a degree.
I mean,
It's garage tub outside edition.
Yeah. So, for the people, well, first, who are you?
so yeah, you're actually seeing our faces for the first time.
Unless you know us.
My name is Chris. I am the one who always sounds annoying on the podcast.
No, you're just the one that calls in occasionally.
Right. I am the part-time host. That's
Yes.
what I am.
Yep, and I'm Aaron. I am the actual one that is annoying on the podcast.
And I'm Joe.
Yeah, guys, how have you guys been doing this week?
Busy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's Christmas.
Christmas.
But I've gotten so much project stuff done.
No shit.
What? I just took like one solid day and I told everyone to leave me alone.
Fair enough. What
Yeah.
have you been working on then?
Big CNC.
Okay. Oh, I saw some of the progress on that. You were working on the gantry mounts.
Yeah, I was working on the gantry mounts and the shapes, and I milled mock-up parts, and then I milled some aluminum parts because my mock-up parts weren't strong enough, and yeah, there's progress there, and I'm really excited about it.
Hell yeah. What? Okay. So did anybody get any makery stuff for Christmas? Let's start off with that.
I did get an impact driver.
Oh, did you actually?
Yeah.
What, was it the 20 volt one instead of the 18 volt
It
one?
was a 20-volt impact driver.
Yes.
That I totally had no idea I was getting.
I knew you were getting it.
It was super cool to like see you kind of seeing that, and then yeah, knew you were getting it.
Yeah, so I was watching a YouTube video at home, and I'm trying to plan out some French cleats for my workshop, and I was showing my wife, and she's like, "Oh, he's got the 20-volt driver." And I'm like, "He does he?" How do you know anything about any of those?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
we had lots of messages, but she researched a ton before she messaged me, so I was impressed.
Well, that was funny because that was what happened last year for your gift.
Yeah.
Was like your wife contacted me and was like, "So what should I buy?" And I was like, "Oh, you're gonna buy an Xbox and you gotta buy him these games."
And they're great.
It was Joe. Did you get any makery stuff for the good old Christmas?
I got 2 Milwaukee bit changing hex drivers. So like, the screwdrivers where you can change the bits out.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They're all Allen wrenches for metric and SAE, and they're so nice.
I've been thinking about just getting one of those just for my toolkit, just for work. Like,
I'll show it to you before you leave. It's great.
Yeah.
And the best part is that you can buy the bits individually. They all have their own individual part numbers. So
Yeah.
like, if you're like me and I mainly use 2, 2.5, and 3s, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of that size because they're like $3 a piece,
Nice.
and they fit in impact drivers too.
no shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
When you
sorry.
really need it to stay.
Right.
Well, there's that, but like then like the impacts have all the hex extensions. So like if you got a bolt like Chris that is like way deep down into something,
Yup. Which okay, I'm gonna derail from mine. I had
We don't do that here.
one of
sir.
right. So I had one of the most aggravating as all hell fucking like work stories where I literally got delayed 3.5 hours because of one bolt.
I was trying to see better.
I think
And
it
now
makes
I'm
it
seeing
worse. It was, oh dude, it was all this one bolt that was holding a part in, and it was just like I couldn't even get close to it to be able to strip it out or even like cross thread it to be able to pull it out or anything like that. Like I couldn't do anything, and it honestly delayed me 3.5 hours from work.
Yeah.
It's just fucking horrid.
So this thing would have been great for you.
It would have. Something like that would have been fantastic for me.
Yeah. So I found these in a coworker's toolkit about 6 months ago, and I wrote the part numbers down, and I Amazon wishlisted it, and my wife's grandma got them for me, and I'm pretty excited about them.
Yeah.
The other thing I got are not Maker related, but I'm going to use them a ton in my Maker adventures. They're JLab's wireless Bluetooth headphones.
Ooh.
And they like double seal, so they seal inside the conch of your ear, so they're like really, really nice for earplugs.
Yeah.
So while I was milling all that aluminum on the router, I didn't hear any of it. It was great.
That sounds like perfect airplane headphones.
Yeah.
Of just like have that
Not-
real snug in there.
Not airplane headphones. You can't have Bluetooth. We don't violate FAA rules, all right?
You can't have Bluetooth headphones on a plane.
No. Airplane mode turns it all off. No wireless communication.
Hmm.
We don't violate FAA rules. I totally do every time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but like that's the weird thing because you can turn airplane mode on and you can still turn Bluetooth on. You can on Apple.
Is that why when I turn airplane mode on in my flight, my plane's always late?
Could be.
I mean,
I have one friend that she's like, fuck that, I'm not turning airplane mode off. I gotta text my friends during the flight. I'm like,
yes.
you're gonna die. Maybe?
Well, it was. What didn't they do that whole? Not that MythBusters is like the end all be all for everything, but didn't they do like an extensive test with like blasting both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth at the sensors, and it did nothing?
Absolutely zero.
It was.
You know what it really is about is devices that aren't FCC certified. If it's FCC certified, you're fine.
Right.
Nothing's gonna happen, but like they have to blanket it because you never know.
Right.
And worst case scenario is the plane falls out of the sky. Like that's a big deal.
There's a pretty hard chance. But yeah, no, that's oh man. I travel way too much. It's yeah.
Yeah. Now
But-
they're great and they're relatively cheap. I totally recommend them.
Fair enough. I'll have to give those a look because like my AirPods have been like wishy-washy recently, but the main feature I like from them is you can listen with individual ears.
Yeah.
And then you can also do the just double tap, and it will like pause anything that you're listening to.
Yeah, so these have buttons and you can listen to individual ears if you're cool with that ear being the right one. Because it has a master headphone and a slave headphone. So
Okay.
the right one's the master. So if you're cool with it only with the right one, which is the one I always listen to when I'm listening to single
Yeah.
anyway.
I normally always listen with my right, so that probably wouldn't be too bad.
They're pretty great. Did you get anything?
I got a in progress real cool thing. So I got two things. I got one thing for somebody that will also benefit myself, and then
Got somebody else a gift for you.
pretty much.
All right.
That totally never backfires.
So it's gonna be a nice one. I got my wonderful partner the Binging with Babish cookbook.
neat.
People are talking to us.
And
Yeah, how do we see that?
You barely can't.
Adam Savage is God. How dare you, Chris?
Oh no!
That's from Laura.
So we know that audio is working. I was scared there for a second because we didn't see any comments, but like audio is working. I mean, yes, Adam Savage is a god. And sheesh, I was just like my wonderful partner.
Yeah.
Got a comment right out there. No, I got them the Binging with Babish cookbook. Which I've shown you guys Binging with Babish videos, right?
Oh yeah.
I've seen them.
Okay, so he published a whole cookbook on everything that he's made, like over 100 recipes, and it's amazing. And I can't wait for me to be past the fuckery that I'm going through right now, and then I will be able to cook a whole bunch of really extravagant meals. But that's
we got another comment.
oh yeah.
We need someone on chat duty.
Good. Oh, audio is shockingly good. No worries. Hey, Chris. Finally getting to listen to the podcast. That's from Andrew Barth.
Oh, hey. Awesome.
We're not good at this live commentary thing, so
But we're great at audio.
Apparently, like, we're to give context, we're single mic'd up, single camera up, and I barely did anything to levels to check it, other than like kind of doing a snap test. So, if it sounds good, awesome. This is a shotgun mic that I ended up picking up for us doing mobile recordings. So I'm glad it's working.
and the lighting is shop lights out
Yeah.
of my garage. So, you know,
It
Pretty all right.
works. Like we will definitely be sending out pictures of the setup afterwards of just like,
oh no, we took care of that already.
oh, did you? Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. But no, so we got the Binging with Babish cookbook, and then my wonderful partner is making me a giant kigu, because like I've always wanted it. Well, first, do you know what a kigu is?
Okay, I was about to ask.
Okay.
I don't
So a kigu is the term for a onesie that like is a character based. So
Okay.
it's basically a giant onesie costume kind of thing. But they are making me a giant Godzilla kigu. And I'm so freaking hyped for it because like I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
I've never been able to experience a onesie or a kigu. So now they're making me one, and they're making it after my favorite kaiju, Godzilla. Like, we were at our Friendsgiving, I was playing original 50s, 60s Godzilla soundtrack. And it was just like going
Excellent.
through like all the classic stuff, and it was just like, this is what I grew up on, this is what I loved. And so they know that about me. They know that I love Godzilla and that I'm a huge fan. So they're making this for me, and they're like in the progress of doing it right now, and I'm like so fucking excited.
Yay.
So it's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait.
Speaking of making people presenty things, did you guys make anybody things for Christmas or give gifts from other makers?
You're
I'm not trying to segue that,
You're
but, you know.
So one of the other gifts, so two of my other gifts were makery kind of things. One of them was coming to you and asking for your help in making an axe for them.
Yeah.
Because they are going to be going to League, which I'm super proud of them for. They're going to be like actually participating in League and throwing, so we got them an axe for it, and you helped me pick out the blade and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. Cut the crap out of myself polishing it,
Yeah.
and then we went out and threw it last night, and she got they got a kill shot on like second throw.
We were playing
Third throw?
What, like it wasn't knockout. What? No, it was
Cricket.
knockout. Cricket.
Yeah.
And it was like literally went up second throw and hit a kill shot. It
Yeah.
was just like, all right, cool.
For those that don't know, since we have a camera, a kill shot is about this big and 12 feet away.
Y'all lost the game.
So.
I mean, right? Jeez.
Oh yeah. What was the other maker gift that you gave?
So I gave them a new kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, okay.
That like I ended up
that
helping.
doesn't count because that's not truly a maker thing. That's like a carpenter skilled trades thing, and that's different.
Is that a thing in the community?
Oh God, yes.
Are you serious?
That was a thing when we started the makerspace.
no shit.
People didn't want to allow like traditional woodworking because that's not makers.
That's absolutely maker.
Dude, everybody knows Maker is only Arduinos and STEM kits.
Right.
Dude,
Yeah.
Don is like one of the biggest fucking cool guys in the space.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir here, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, we are. Like, no, that's like, because I ended up helping the wonderful maker who helped me with everything. His name was Steve. I ended up helping Steve with a couple things. Like, dude, you know how much work goes into installing a heated flooring?
Oh God.
That's a
yes.
fucking project.
Yes, I do. I've done it.
It was like that was a whole thing, and then we set up like a smart thermostat for that, so it'll know like when to turn off and when to turn on, and like it senses the temperature of the room and then heats up the room based off that. The amount of math that we had to do to like make sure that thing was gonna fucking work was just like immensely like makery. Like
Mhm.
Anybody? No.
Oh yeah, I preach into the choir.
It's anytime there's but I've been accused. Okay, so this is a question for you because we're just an off-topic podcast now. So I found myself doing this once where I was gatekeepery in a subject, and my gatekeepery thing was nerd bars. I love 8-Bit. 8-Bit is probably one of my favorite bars.
Yeah.
And I went there one weekend.
8-Bit is a barcade near us that lets you play games for free as long as you're drinking.
I like that Joe looks at the mic as he talks to it.
I just want to make sure
Habit.
people can hear me.
No, so 8-Bit, it's a wonderful bar. They have really good classic retro games and a lot of good beer and drinks. I ended up going there one weekend when I was still kind of like new to bar scene. This was a long time ago. And there was a bunch of frat guys there. And I kind of was like, motherfuckers, like y'all have every other bar, like Kelleher's, Bearded Owl. You want to go to anywhere else, like that is your bar. But like, I feel like 8-Bit is the nerd bar. And I almost feel like there should be a gatekeepery question of like, when was the Atari 2600 like launched, or why does the Atari 2600 have its name? And like, you got to answer that to get in. Somebody called me on it, and they were like, "You're being gatekeepery, and like, you should be allowing everybody to experience nerd culture." But has there ever been something where you felt gatekeepery on something,
And then had to like correct myself?
or not?
Almost every topic I talk about.
I wouldn't say like
I did it.
everything.
I did it to my
Have you
dad
met me?
at Christmas
No shit.
because he got an Ender 3 Pro from Woot that I sent him, and because he's gotten super into drones the last couple of years. And mind you, my dad is like, he's been a construction dude his whole life. Every little computer thing he's always had to ask me questions on.
Yeah.
But he has like dove into the drone world, has bought a soldering stations, doing super fine pitch soldering now,
No shit.
and like
cool.
flashing his own stuff. And
Sweet.
so I was like, you should get a 3D printer so you can print your own stuff. And we're trying to get him set up with all the TH3D stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I'm gonna get an SKR board, and I'm like, you're an idiot. But not really. Whatever. You do what you want to do.
Right.
I'm not here to gatekeep. But he showed me these super cool prints that he did for my daughters of these ballerinas, and it's like this thing. I'll show the camera. It's like this thing that's like a big loop like my fingers, and then there's a dancer in between it. It's all supports an overhang, and the dancer has a leg that like sticks straight out, and it's super fine, everything, and they looked great. And I was like, how much tuning did you have to do? And he's like, that was my second print.
No shit.
Following Chuck Hellebuck's Kira profiles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you know what? I hate you. Because I've been doing this forever and spent thousands of dollars on printers, probably, I don't know, a lot of money. And, you know, it's really hard to get that good of prints years ago, and now you can spend $150 from China and get, like, that quality. And I'm like,
Right.
I hate you.
Well,
But
you were
I'm also
saying-
congratulating you because, like, that's really cool.
I mean, you were saying that when what did you get an Ender? Is that what you got?
Yeah, I have an Ender 3.
Yeah, because
Not Pro.
we were basically
Just Firebug.
around the time that I was gonna get my next printer, and I ended up getting the Formbot. Like we were basically talking like Ender's got to the point where it's not bad anymore. Like,
But it's a crapshoot.
yeah, you're really pushing your luck with what you're gonna get.
Like, it could be as good as the Enders that I got and my dad got, or it could just be a giant melty firebally mess, and you
Right.
never know, and that's the problem. But-
It's well, and that's why we suggest our friends over at like Tiny Machines or TH3D or Project R3D, like
Or Prusa, or
Prusa.
Wolfsbot. I still love them and hate them. Like, you know, like, they still make good stuff.
right.
Like I said the other day, somebody asked me, or they said something like, "Oh, I just figured you would have bought the $30 Chinese boards, or do you value your time right now?" Because I was asking about the TH3D Easy board. It was Tim that asked me
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and I was like, "No, I have never done that. I always value supporting the creators as much as I can. That's why
Right.
if you look at my printers, there isn't a clone anything."
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm proud to be able to support anybody who is in the community right now, especially like Tim from TH3D has helped me a numerous amounts of times.
Yeah.
Like I just had a quick question for him about the mag boards, and I was like, do you like I want you to be straight with me. Do you actually believe in this product, or like is this something that you got a sponsor deal through or whatever? And he was like, I would not put anything on my website that I would not approve, or that I would not use myself. He's like, abso-fucking-lutely. And I was like, all right, cool. That's all I needed to hear. Magbed's been fucking great.
Yeah.
Like,
No, and that's why we support stores like Printed Solid that
Yeah.
carry legit products of everything. Or if they are clones like LDO's Prusa clone parts, they're high-end clones. They're clones you
Right.
can trust.
right.
It's we support those people. We don't.
Well, and it's kind of because, like, I don't know. I guess we're still like a small-ish enough community, or the internet connects us all enough that just like we're all still that close. Like, mostly all of us meet up at Murph. Like, everybody's kind of there, and it's just like you're still able to have that connection.
Speaking of people I haven't met that are commenting on us, Devin Wolf's just commented that he is listening while seeing out signs.
Nice.
Hey, Devin, you
Hi,
should
Devin.
come to Murph so we can hang out, because we haven't like talked in person ever.
Badass. Yeah, we're up to a couple watchers. So hi everybody out there on the internets.
Devin, let me know when you get the Airbnb for NomCon.
Yeah.
Give me that link.
When is NomCon?
June?
June?
June or July?
Okay, yeah. We're going to that, right?
Yeah, I'm going.
We're going to that, right?
We could go.
Yeah, you're going to that.
You're going to that?
June. I feel like there's something. Oh, June is Bristol. Definitely not.
No.
Bristol. Okay. Let me tell
That's
you
fine.
about. Let me
That's
tell
fine.
you about what I'm building for Bristol. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a small party that's going with, and they like to do themed, like, cross cosplays. Okay. So last year it was like Disney villains, and then.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So and then they did like the DC heroes, and they did like Renaissance DC heroes, and then Renaissance Disney villains. So this year, we're gonna be doing D&D inspired Powerpuff Girls.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
So we got Paladin Blossom, Druid Bubbles, Barbarian Buttercup, Alchemist Professor, Cambion Him, which Cambions are just this really grotesque devil-looking thing. They look awesome, and like they're super cool. Oh, Bristol is in July. Never mind. Maybe we'll see. I just got corrected.
Oh, we got a whole bunch of comments.
Oh,
outside.
It's in Oregon. Andrew says, would you suggest definitely stop questioning yourself and go to Murph? Get your hotel room right this second. Seriously.
If not, we can all pack
It's
into
worth-
mine.
Yeah.
yeah,
we
we're
can
just gonna
We
have
can just
like,
start. It can be the makers on tap room, and it's like everybody that we know can just like.
But
sleeping
you're gonna get
bags.
alcohol poisoning again, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to sleep.
It's like tradition.
it's gonna Murph is gonna be a thing.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
you
freaking
have to
wait.
go to Murph.
But yeah, so we're making this freaking awesome costume. So that's like after C2E2, that's gonna be my next like big push costume.
Sweet.
So which, fuck, okay. So this is what happens every time I'm on the podcast, because I like to talk a lot, and it's mainly because I haven't been on the podcast in a while. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Cosplay Guild. Do you guys mind?
hang on.
Go.
I want to go back to the maker gifts thing real quick,
Yeah.
mostly just because I want to plug the maker gift that I gave.
Okay.
I got a super awesome blacksmith magic wand from one of our Makerspace members, Jeep,
Yeah.
and gave it to my wife, who's super into Harry Potter and magic and everything. And like, it was so fitting because it looked like it has like a leaf wrapping around it, and it looks like it's made out of twigs. And she's a Hufflepuff, and like,
Yup.
you know, I'm fine with the fact that I'm 35 and know what all the Hogwarts houses still are.
I mean, my whole thing was going to be if I didn't give my partner an axe, it was going to be a wand. It was going to be one of the two.
Yeah.
But as soon as like I got the notification, getting called out for not being on the podcast enough. At least we know what the lag is. But no, I got the email from Waddle, and they were like, "Winter League's open." I was like, "All right, I gotta do this." No, so because I feel bad because I always do this. I immediately just come on and just dump all this stuff.
Did you have anything you want to talk about maker gift wise?
I did make my grandma some coasters.
Were they the satanic coasters that you just gave me?
They were the exact opposite. they were fully conservative Christian.
Oh, were they? Did they have like Psalms 23?
Run of the mill, like faith can move mountains. And
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Stuff. And so I like that. That's what I tested the Periscope live stream out the first time. Was I did all that for my phone. So I did that for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
And I was just lasering the tiles and finding the designs, and I'm just like gagging, going through Google image search of like all Christian graphics.
Yup.
I'm like, we're gonna have to laser some satanic temple coasters to kind of balance it out, because if I feel like I'm adding too much to the universe, I need to balance it out.
You're gonna have to like go and like take your computer to like a Wiccan ritual.
So I did today just buy my official Satanic Temple membership card.
No shit.
Yep, it's gonna be official.
You gotta like get me access to your Plex so I can finally watch this thing.
I've sent you the invite like twice.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to like. I haven't been on Plex in a minute, and it hasn't sent me the notification to my email.
But you
Yeah.
don't use Plex at all, right?
No, not at all. Plex is from the God. Because we like the devil.
You don't use Plex at
Satan.
all. How are you guys doing on beers?
I am good.
We-
I'm having to pace mine. We got
we-
another one.
We never talked about what we're drinking. Do you need another beer? Do you want another one of
Let's
these?
see, who is this?
Sure.
Hooping Houndy?
Houdini? That's Liz.
Hooping Houdini. Oh. Oh yeah, hooping. I should have guessed that.
What?
Thank you.
They said that their gifts were very appreciated and very nice. No, okay. Cosplay stuff.
Cosplay stuff.
So the cosplay guild has been going fucking amazing.
During your Apple Watch in the tub.
Yeah,
Is it fine?
yeah.
I took mine off.
There's a water setting. It can go up to 15 meters deep.
I don't know how to use that.
You just swipe up. It's literally look.
There's a setting to make it waterproof?
Yeah, so it
Yeah,
locks
it's-
all the gates here.
Yeah, I don't know
So
how that works.
you scroll it and it will unlock it, and it sends like a vibration out to empty everything, and then you just swipe up, and then you hit the water droplet, and then now it's locked, and it can go up to 15 meters deep.
My garment
Yeah.
just goes in water whether I like it or not.
Like I have had it like submerged with forgetting to do that, and it's been fine, but like that's like all you have to do.
Huh.
No, so we did a fucking parade. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, we went and marched in a parade, which was fucking great. We ended up marching in the Santa Claus parade. What's up?
Andrew Barth, who are the Egress people?
We have no Egress people here.
Well, he said he'd like to meet the Egress people in person, so I'm trying to figure out who those people are.
Oh,
At Murph.
Yeah.
No, so I told him that we were friends and with Joel and all of them.
That
'Cause
was a
Joel was
lie.
Egress. What?
Bold-faced lie.
No, it's not in a lie.
Project Egress.
Project
Okay.
Egress.
Okay, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I was
So,
like,
like,
we
so
hung-
Matt and-
2 and 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Matt Stoltz, I think, would be a better friend that we know that was a part of that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wasn't 100% who we were talking to, but I knew we had friends and
Yeah.
like knew Egress and like all that while that was going on. Andrew if this is the right Andrew, who's on my friends list, was apparently there helping Adam build it.
Oh, neat.
So yeah, like he actually was on site helping Adam like actually put it together and whatnot.
I genuinely hate you, but would also love to hang out with you.
But yeah, I got to meet him at a Queers Giving. Bunch of cool queer people in the area got together and had a Thanksgiving.
How many Thanksgivings did you have?
Man, I think those were only 2. I only went to that one and then had Friendsgiving and then got chronically ill at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's
that
been a
was
month.
bad. Has been a month.
But no, I'll skip.
Okay,
Like,
Cosplay Guild.
Cosplay Guild.
We'll let you finish this time.
The parade was fucking fantastic. I got to do a brand new cosplay. It was a very simple cosplay, but a very involved cosplay, which was Beast from X-Men.
And what better cosplay could you do?
Fucking right. I was very blue. There is still a lot of blue all over my car.
Would you say you blew yourself?
I blew Dabba Dee Bada Dodd.
Oh God, I hate both of you right now.
But
Yeah, I'm that one. I did all CAD modeling of the hatch. Hey, I'm local. Anytime you want to hang.
Sweet.
oh, absolutely.
We're around the Makerspace every Thursday. I would say that I would love to hang out with you at a different time, but that's the only time I see people.
Yeah.
That's the easiest time for any one of us.
Yes.
Which, Andrew, I believe I told you about the Makerspace. It's River City Labs in Peoria, Illinois.
7916 North Hale?
Yes.
Or 7619. One of those.
7916.
Have we done a podcast since I took on my new role
I don't think you've been on.
that I've been on?
No.
Yeah.
Finish your cosplay guild.
Well,
Yes.
it was an awesome experience. We made it on TV. We actually got to hang out with a lot of kids and just made for an awesome experience. Like it was just a blast to like hang out and like do something like that. This is the first ever parade that I had marched in. It was very low key. Mainly just like we had a pull behind little wagon, and it had a giant stuffed dinosaur that said "Go Beyond Plus Ultra." And then we had just a bunch of people who came out and cosplayed, and we had some 501st with us. We had some 501st, and then we had a bunch of people from our guild, which some of the 501st are also a part of the guild. Which, dude, we're up to like 75 members in that. Well, 75 people in the group who are pretty actively like commenting and
Nice.
like involved. We've got another event already coming up in January. We're going to be doing the John Williams concert. We got contacted directly by the orchestra
Wow.
to have us come out and cosplay characters in the lobby for them. So I'm going to be doing Hagrid for that.
Awesome.
Which I'm like, that's gonna be freaking like amazing. And then Laura, I think, is doing possibly either Indiana Jones or a Jedi or something else. I am like pushing Indiana Jones. I think that would be amazing.
I've
for
seriously
them.
been debating coming as Indiana Jones.
Oh no shit! Have you really?
Yeah.
You should do it. They would 100% take on another role if you came as Indiana Jones.
When
I
is
know
that again?
January 18th or 19th.
Oh, I can't go that weekend.
What's that?
That's the weekend Liz will be at Bourbon Town Burlesque.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So never mind. I won't come as Indiana Jones.
It would be a blast to have you there. But totally understandable.
It's my favorite cosplay because I can have a whip.
Fucking right.
And my
and you can
favorite
actually
bag.
use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's been the cosplay guild. It's very much going well, and it's very much like succeeding at what it is, and for what it is. So I'm excited to see it come into another year and to become even better.
Maker Christmas presents are being brought out to us.
Oh, are they really?
Yes.
Oh wait, is it the things that I bought?
The suspenders that you got and the magic wand.
Ah, there it is. There it is.
I'm
You're
not
used to being on stage, but not on camera.
I'm not coming out again. All right, so here's the epic magic wand.
Yes. It's so cool. I haven't gotten to see the suspenders since you did it.
They're pretty cool.
I screwed them up, which is why I didn't mention them on the podcast.
Oh, but they're so cool.
You
So-
didn't screw them up that bad.
Yeah, you can only tell I screwed them up if you could see them up close.
Okay.
But I laser etched bees into them,
Oh, fun.
They are super cool.
and this leather was significantly harder than any other leather I've ever etched. So
They're pretty awesome.
the first strap didn't go so hot. But you know, that's what happens when wives love you. They're just happy you made them anything.
You're super blown out, but it makes it even better.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's Mrs. Makers on Tap Joe. Or Liz.
Hi, Mrs. Joe.
This is
Ms.
Joe.
Migs?
Mix.
Mix?
Maker.
Mix Makers on Tap?
I like it.
I don't know what I'm doing in life anymore. Guys.
I mean, do any of us? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
I've got a pretty good idea.
Do you?
I'm glad.
Yeah.
But like, see,
Part of it's faking it.
you're.
Right.
I think you're just peak Dunning-Kruger with life.
Dude.
Because at 26, I thought I had a pretty good handle on life too.
Man, that's where I'm at. Fuck.
At 35, I'm not so sure.
At least I'm not having kids. I got that handled.
You think? There's
No, I got a surgery. I am not having kids.
those. I did too, and I did. They not give you the talk of like. Sometimes things grow back together, so you better come back every year and check. And
No
like,
shit. No,
Oh,
they
yeah.
didn't.
yeah.
They told me they stapled me, or they stapled me and they cauterized me, so it should never grow back.
My doctor was like, I've had people come back after 10 years with like an accidental oops. So, you know,
Whoa.
keep up. And I was like, all right. That's worth $100 a year.
Put me on that subscription plan.
Just go in and check. I mean, that's coming up. I got mine done last year, last December.
Definitely.
Just like
Now that you all know way too much about us, we were
I am
we were
still fully plumbed.
we were switching topics to something that wasn't any of the things we just talked about. So, if anybody's questioning Murph is amazing.
yeah.
We are now going to Murph. We were always going to Murph 100% for sure. We recently got the news that like
We're being sponsored.
we're being sponsored to sponsor our table at Murph.
yeah.
Like, it's sponsorception. So thanks Project R3D
It's sponsorships all the way down.
for sponsorception.
Oh no, I didn't know that's what they were doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Project Red is going to pay for our booth.
yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Like I saw
maybe
that
he
they
didn't
were.
want people to know that. But I don't care. I'm putting stickers all over the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know Project Red's great.
I
And-
saw that they were sponsoring. I thought we were both going in on a sponsorship together. That's what I thought that meant.
I mean, kind of.
Okay.
I mean, the way that I phrased it to him is that the three of us normally split the cost of
Yeah.
the Makers on Tap booth, but he was like, "Let me just pay for it because I want to contribute back to you guys because you guys make awesome shows."
Oh fuck yeah.
So, I'm
So-
like,
That's
"All right."
Joe, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Thank you. I was a little bit behind on that. If you're curious as to why, message me and I will tell you. It's been a week.
Yes.
No,
So
that's
yeah, we're
awesome.
definitely going to that, and then sounds like we're gonna go to NomCon. We're probably gonna go to IRF. We're trying to figure out ARF, which is the
We're going
Australia
to,
Rep Rap
like to
Fest.
Milwaukee, right?
Milwaukee Maker Fair.
Yeah.
That's
It's,
easy.
as long as it happens, we will be there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Maker Fairs are up in the air this year,
Yeah.
Because.
but you
yeah.
know, Make Community is going really strong, so maybe not.
it.
Like,
I would.
They
love
released
to
their
go back.
first issue.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it had really good content in it. So like, I feel like their restructure was probably pretty good. And like all of the community-supported fairs, like Orlando and Milwaukee, like they were just ran by the people.
Yeah, they were ran by the local maker
So
spaces.
I don't see why they wouldn't happen. So yeah, we'll totally be there.
Okay.
And then there's other things that might happen.
Okay. Mr. Cryptic.
Yeah.
I've been telling you guys for a couple weeks now. We need to figure out all the events we're going to, so I can make sure I can get the days
Dude,
off.
I got all of the cons that I'm going to like already booked out months in advance, and I'm like, fuck.
There's a lot of cons, right?
C2E2 is the next big one. Murph, I'm
When
counting
is C2
kind of.
two? It's in January.
No, it's at the end of February.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What are some non-printing cons we could go to?
C2E2.
Because so far it's like all
C2E2?
printing conventions that we're going to.
C2E2 is like the biggest Comic Con in Chicago. It's at
The
McCormick
biggest
Place.
Comic Con excluding New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con. C2E2 is the top 3.
So
Yeah.
Liz and I were just talking about that today.
No shit.
Yeah.
You should come up. I don't know if you'll be able to get a hotel real easily, but you should.
we stay
absolutely.
in the burbs.
Yeah. We're trying, like, because we're gonna have like such big, like, Traveler is gonna be a fucking thing.
Who's Traveler?
Oh shit, you guys don't know. Traveler is.
Enlighten.
Oh, I'm committing you. You have to do it now because I'm saying it on the podcast. You look at me. You better get started because I'm committing you, and people are gonna be expecting it now. So Traveler is a character from a video game called Journey, and it's an incredible game.
Oh, it wasn't the Traveler from Destiny?
No. It's a giant fucking orb. Fuck. No, it's this beautiful artwork game. If you have a chance, like, they're gonna be playing it again here soon once I bring over my PlayStation. You should come over and just see it. In all honesty, if you're in the mood to just relax, and just like listen to music and just kind of chill the fuck out, the Journey soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks ever created. It's no vocals, straight, like, kind of.
Please send that to me after the show because I have already forgotten that you mentioned it, but I want it.
It's
Tony Hawk
amazing.
Pro Skater 4 would like to disagree with you.
Yes, it would. He would like to disagree with you hard. That's the second reference this month to that soundtrack.
You wanna like hear a really funny fucking thing? So they said they're working on it. Good job, love. Good job.
That was nobody specifically.
So so Tony Hawk, no lie. My partner was out with their best friend at a bar, and that best friend was having a really hard time, and they were very drunk. But in the midst of their very drunken, hard time, they just looked up and went, "That guy in the back looks like he's from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2."
Oh.
And just like started sobbing.
Pixelated and flat.
Apparently. It was so fucking great because, like, you guys, I know you know who it is. I'm not gonna out them on the podcast though. But it was so fucking great.
Wait, the pixelated guy or the sad
No,
best
the
friend?
sad best friend.
Okay.
You know a whole lot of pixelated guys, right?
You never know. I mean, you're gonna buy a pixel truck, right? Like,
I am. I have put in my official pre-order for Cybertruck. It is officially in.
okay,
locked in
I
on
am
the prices.
going to pre-order some Cruisin' USA stickers for you.
Oh fuck yes! I am so about it. Cruise in the USA, Warthog from Halo 1. You put whatever the fuck you want on it.
no,
It's
the
gonna be
Xterra is
amazing.
the Warthog.
Yeah, I mean the Xterra is pretty close to a Warthog.
That was my Xterra's name was the Warthog.
It was really funny because Josh came into the space and like somebody brought it up, and then Josh went, "You know what? It reminded me something from a video game. You know which one it was?" And I go, "It's the Warthog from Halo." And he goes, "How the fuck did you know?" And I was like, "Because everybody thinks that it looks like
Yeah.
that."
Because I've played Halo 2.
Right? It was just, I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be so much fun. Like,
I'm excited for driving around in it with you. I wouldn't buy one yet, but I want a Rivian. I want tank turns.
Yeah,
you know
I saw
what?
that. They're
It
doing
would be
tank turns
great.
now.
I would absolutely love a Rivian.
That's the software.
Have them
issue
release
now.
something showing me a Rivian.
It's in Bloomington. You can do a tour.
No shit, can you really?
I
It's a
think so.
public tours?
I think so.
We should absolutely do that as a podcast.
You know, we're gonna get to an age where all these features are just software.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh,
We're at that age.
software is easy. Why don't you just add tank turn to the Cybertruck? What are you doing?
I mean, we're at that
mean-
age. We have friends that hack Teslas now.
You officially hack Tesla's like really cool shit.
Yeah, so
It's
How long have we been doing this? We've been doing this.
We have been live for 56 minutes.
And we only lost 4 degrees.
We
Sweet.
did.
No, 3.
3
we,
degrees.
We have 6 viewers. Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to call it at that, that is an hour-long podcast.
I mean, I have half a beer still.
Okay.
Keep going.
Dude, I got plenty of stuff. I can keep talking. That was the other thing I was about to get into. I don't know if I've been on a podcast since I got elected as vice president.
Oh God.
Hey!
We now have 2 officers back on the podcast.
We are now mostly a Makerspace Director podcast.
Right? It's gonna
be a while before we're all a direct Makerspace Director podcast.
Right.
Just take all the time you need, Joe.
It's
I get it now.
I offered, but you know, I am on the board of directors for our local arts association that sponsors our Makerfest.
Yep.
Well, not sponsors, like it is the parent organization of Makerfest,
Yeah.
which creates a conflict of interest between
Yeah.
the 2 boards. So
Yeah.
I can't sit on the Makerspace board now.
Yep.
So,
We did the math.
you know, whatever.
did the math.
Yep. We crunched the numbers.
It's gonna be.
We read the fine print.
The fine print that we
Essentially.
came up with ourselves.
Oh, don't let me forget that, because I have something I want to talk about on the podcast. It involves reading fine print that I want to
Like tonight.
reiterate why you should.
Like tonight.
Yes, tonight.
Okay.
Like it's short.
Let's just do it now.
Well, Chris is talking.
What's he
About
talking
his
about?
vice presidency.
No,
Oh, that's
that-
right. Let's keep talking about that.
You want to talk about that?
I mean, if you want to.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'll just kind of lay out like, well, here. Essentially, what it was like I got elected as vice president. I'm really excited for it. I talked with a lot of like at the officers at our first meeting, and I said my goal that I would like to make for myself this year is to make the space more open to people of the different communities. Primarily, the one that I have the most skill going towards right now is the LGBT community. I would like to make the makerspace very much more open to that community.
Not that we were ever closed.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
I
it
mean,
was
that's
just
a whole topic in itself.
It really
like
is.
we've always said we're open, but that's not
but-
how it works.
Yeah, just because you say you're open doesn't
Yeah.
mean you show you're open.
Yeah.
And like the practice,
Yeah.
like we've never been against that community, but like it takes active practice to be to have a community that is very accepting of
Yeah.
any specific group.
It's a culture thing, and our current culture doesn't support it that well yet.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
we want to fix this year.
Right.
and that is what like one of the first things that
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
I
No,
signed
yeah.
us up for immediately was Pride Fest. We are going to be having a presence at Peoria Pride Fest.
When is that?
That is in August.
Oh, that's right after Makerfest, isn't it?
It's pretty close.
We're gonna be so tired.
Yeah.
But having a
I'm tired already.
having a Makerspace booth and running a giant event are 2 very different things.
So this is something that I also wanted to talk about, because immediately I put that in there, and I was like, this is something that I want to do, and I will head it up almost single individually if that's what calls for it. And there was another person who immediately went into, no, we need to make this a big spectacle, we need to make all these things, and I responded back and I went, these are the exact reason why we're not doing events right now.
Yep.
Is because we made it a giant spectacle, and we made it all these different things that we didn't need to be. I said, in my professional opinion, the best idea is for us to have a small presence, not make it about us, and to only have like a single printer, print out a bunch of like keychains beforehand, and just have that at the table. And that's it.
People to talk to.
So I was like, just having like a few people, like 3 people is all you need for an event like that. And just have people switch off and whatnot and like hang out. I was like, we don't need a giant presence. We don't need all of these other things. Because then you're trying to make it about yourself. And that's not what you want in that scenario. That
Yeah.
is the exact opposite.
Well, and it just drives burnout in the people.
Yes.
Like it makes. Like we got to a point last year, you were just like, no events. We're not going to do events ever.
I was really like 2 events.
Yeah.
We do Maker Fest, which we do every year, and then engineering day.
Yeah.
Maybe Geek Fest because we all loved it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like
Geek Fest is.
everyone's like, oh, this library is doing a thing, or hey, this organization invited us out for something. I'm like, no, like
But if
that's
we-
all going to be me.
But if we do it like Chris said, where like a person is taking charge and it's a small thing, and we just have a couple people hang out.
Because that's it, like literally all I'm thinking is, by that time I will probably have a Prusa Mini for myself, and then I'll just like take out the Mini, print off a bunch of keychains beforehand,
Yep.
and then just have a shit ton of stuff to hand out that'll say RCL on it, and that's all. And it's just like a bunch of business cards and the tablecloth, and just be there to be like smiling and be like, hey, we love the LGBT community. We would love to see you create in our space.
Yeah.
And like that would be amazing, because it would speak volumes that we even go to something like that, because mainly like all the vendors were a bunch of vendors selling like LGBT apparel, but there was no real like presence of like, hey,
There's no
this
community
is,
presence.
yeah, there was no community presence other than Peoria Pride and the burlesque community and some of the local like research places like AIDS research and all and those communities.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised to see Kat there. Kat had a booth there.
Yeah, Kat did have a booth
I was a
there.
little surprised.
So they have the little Lambda Society, which like, you know,
Like I'll give Kat. Kat does have a good like reputation for trying to be as best as they can be.
you have enough.
That ruins my narrative though.
Right.
So, my fine print thing before I forget about it.
Okay.
As makers, I don't know if you guys have been approached by this, but I've been approached by a lot of people to work on their projects for money or no money, and often it comes with signing an NDA.
Mm-hmm.
The cooler it is, usually the more NDA it is, right? And a long time ago, a friend of mine told me never sign an NDA. All they are is a path to litigation. It's just a way for somebody to sue you later on when they see whatever and they don't like it. You know?
Sure.
And I've signed a lot of NDAs in my life because I've had to. Like working in research, it comes with the territory. But you always read the NDA.
Right.
Specifically, the time period
Yes.
Yes.
of the NDA.
Yes.
And a friend of mine brought a project to me, and the project sounded super cool, and it was an opportunity to work with somebody that I really want to work with again. And I was just like, yes, I will work on the project with you. That sounds like a really great opportunity. I can't wait to work with you again. Send the NDA over. I'll check it out and look at it and, you know, sign it, whatever. It's not a big deal. Until I read the NDA.
Okay.
And then I read the NDA, and it had two very specific things. One was signing the NDA was no guarantee that it was like basically no guarantee that the two parties would be working together, which is fine. Like
Okay.
that's actually okay. The other part of the NDA was that the NDA was indefinite from the date of signing or until the NDA holder wanted to release you for
What?
all and any IP developed during the NDA period. So, had I signed it, this person that I have no recourse on, know nothing about, other than a brief description of a project, who didn't send me the NDA themselves, who sent it through a third party, who sent it to my friend that I want to work with to
Yeah.
send to me, would have had all the rights to all of my IP from now until eternity. Essentially.
Did your
Since-
friend sign it?
He did.
Oh shit.
So, you know, since since there was no discussion, really, of the project scope, he could claim rights to everything I create forever.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna look at the camera because this matters. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that.
I mean, that's essentially.
Read the things that you sign. It was 2 pages. I almost signed it without reading it.
That's
I almost did. And like
fuck.
the likelihood of him going after me for something is small.
Right.
But the project encompasses a lot of things I work on anyway. So it could have really screwed me in a whole bunch of ways. So I sent it back to my friend and I said, hey, did you catch these lines of this NDA? By the way, did you look into who this person is? That's the other thing. Before you sign an NDA, before you do any work with a company, find out who runs the company and do a quick Google search on their name. Because I'm not convinced that this person can come up with the funds to do the work that needed to be done in the scope that it needed to be done, and then would have tied up all of my IP and my rights.
Yeah.
Like, make sure you know who you're working with, why you're working with them, and how long you will be working with them, or at least how long they will own the things that you create. Because that's what an NDA says, is anything you create for me, I own.
I mean, that's essentially the plot of Silicon Valley.
That's exactly the plot of Silicon Valley.
It's just like, that's
You know,
scary.
You know, and
Fuck.
like Silicon Valley is a really good example of the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But it's the scenario that happens. Like, the lawyer in Silicon Valley I love. He's so good because, like, he's so apt and to the point about all of his things. And he's just like, you know what? You signed it, so, like, you know, whatever. We'll move on and you'll create something better again and, like, you know, whatever. And then, like, Richard goes on TV and he's like, he didn't mean this in any sort of, like, litigatable sense. Like, you know, whatever. But, like, that's how lawyers work. They trap you in legalese. And, yeah, I don't think that this individual had any ill intentions.
Yeah.
What I think is he found an NDA template on the internet, didn't read it, and just was like, sign this, and this is now binding. Don't do that. Especially if you are in the situation that I am in, where you're now consulting for a living and, like, taking on lots of project work. It's probably worth getting a lawyer
Yeah.
that you can just fire these off to and say, you know, here's $150. Is this okay?
Right.
And after this one, I'm doing that. I don't have that now, but, like, after this NDA, I'm definitely doing that because, like, I could have lost all my IP going forward. For one simple project that didn't even have money terms talked about yet.
Right.
Like, that's huge.
Is that even enforceable at that point? Because there are some contracts that just are not enforceable.
Yes, that is true, but enforceable means it's been taken to litigation. I don't have money to go
Yeah.
fight in court.
Yeah.
Does this person have money to go fight in court? Because that's all that matters. Like, just because something isn't enforceable by law doesn't mean that somebody can't drag you through multiple appeals until you don't have money anymore. That's the society that we live
Yeah.
in. So, like, that's why you have to be super careful about the research that you do and the work that you do and who you do it for. And, like,
Yeah.
a quick Google search showed me a lot. And,
Fair enough.
you know, maybe everything's on the up and up on this one. Maybe. It totally could be. Don't know.
I mean, it, like, if anything, even before I signed that, I personally would have tried to talk directly with the company and been like, is this your intent? Is this a joke? Like, not is this a joke? I would have said it better, but, like,
I went back through the third party and I was like, hey, you need to look at these lines. I'm not signing this until
yeah.
this and this and this changes. And even then, I'm questioning the whole entire project based on this.
Right.
Let's see where that goes.
Jeez.
So,
Yeah. No, read the fucking fine print.
Now I'm bummed out.
yeah, right? I know. And, like, we never wanted this podcast to be about, like, how to turn your maker stuff into money. But,
Yeah.
like, I'm
Mhm.
doing that. And so I kind of want to talk about it occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about it an hour into the podcast where nobody's gonna hear it.
Well, like, we're having I mean, if we want to get this back on Makerspaces, we're having a whole conversation right now about, like, should we be allowing Etsy shops in the Makerspace?
Yeah.
And that's just an ongoing conversation that we're having. It's like, how do we do this? What is the best way to do this? Like, should we do this? And it's just like, it's a very interesting conversation to be having about turning profit on makery stuff. And
It's an interesting conversation, especially for a makerspace.
yeah.
My opinion is that we should, until we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, until it's a problem, it goes back to the whole "don't make me make more rules" thing.
Right.
Like, until it's a problem, it's probably okay. And we have yet to find somebody who I think will be a real problem.
Is it
And
starting
with
to rain?
that,
Yeah, that's
it is
rain.
raining.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. All right.
Cool. Yeah,
We're coming down, guys.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Are people still watching?
Yeah, we've got 4 viewers still. An hour and 12 minutes in. It's been awesome talking to you guys. We will talk to you later. Have a fantastic night.
All right.